In the ag approach bill, I tried to defund research for transgenic edible plant vaccines. And it sounds kind of scary, but it is scary. We are actually funding with taxpayer dollars research on vaccines to be grown in lettuce and spinach, so that when people eat their lettuce and spinach, they will get vaccinated with whatever vaccine that plant is producing. I don't think we need to be playing God with our spinach. And if somebody wants to do that, there probably needs to be tighter rules on it, because pollen can escape and pollute plants in neighboring farms who never intended to be growing vaccines in their food. So I tried to put some rules on that in the ag approach bill, and I was able to stop taxpayer dollar spending in that ag approach bill. But they threw that bill in the trash and did an omnibus instead. So guess what? Now you got another year of transgenic edible plant vaccine research.
That's gonna be a post of its own there.
Welcome back, everybody, as we continue to move on through our How to Farm series with Cole the Cornstar. Again, the reason I'm doing this is for a whole bunch of folks who just don't truly understand what it is that a farmer, what a farming family is going through while they're trying to make food for all of us. And all too often, that ignorance causes us to make really, really bad decisions in regards even all the way down to the people that we're electing. Because they may decide that a ditch has suddenly become a navigatable waterway and prevent somebody from using that land as anything else but a ditch. Lots of those types of decisions are being made, and it's really, really dangerous. So the reason I'm doing this is because this kid has decided to show it. So what we're doing here is we're listening. We're simply paying attention. So why don't I go on ahead, and when I have a comment, I will absolutely jump in and we'll get to going again.
Welcome to the How to Farm series. Over the next 365 days, I will be documenting everything that happens on Cornstar farms to show what it takes for food to get on your table. If you are new to this series, I recommend starting on episode 1, which can be found on my channel playlist called How to Farm. At the start of today, our season expenses so far are $910,000, and we have made $0 in income. Up to this point, I have established a projected break-even point for the farm of $2,027,000, and that's it. So with that being said, welcome to day number 1 of farming. Today is April 11th, which is early, but you know what they say. Early is on time is late, and we have a lot to do. For today's weather report, sponsored by Cornstar Farms merchandise that can be found down in the link below or at cornstar.farm, we are started bright and late today at 10:14 a.m.
Okay, I absolutely left the weather report in. If you know any farmers, you know that the weather is something that is discussed all the time. So I thought, why not give y'all a bit of taste of that? And I absolutely left his plug in for his merchandise shop. It's his video I'm using for this. He's the one doing all the work. I'm simply the one trying to enforce it, trying to really, really drive it home with the folks that for some reason listen here. So those are the reasons. Onward with more weather.
Pretty long night last night working, so we slept in a little bit and got a little bit of shut-eye. We're looking at a high of 58 degrees today with a low of 45. We have a 30% chance of wind, and they're talking breezy all day. We're looking at 18-mile-an-hour winds right now, and I believe that is expected to increase. We have 66% humidity and 16 miles of visibility with a UV index of 2. So not a lot of need for sunscreen today, but we are talking some breeze. Looking at the 10-day forecast, we have beautiful weather coming into this weekend. It looks like tomorrow we have another windy day, but a high of 64 degrees. That's going to be nice. Going into Saturday and Sunday, we get up into the 70s and 80s. Monday, 85. It's going to be a scorcher. Tuesday, we have a 50% chance of rain. Now, that far out, Are we gonna get it? Are we not? We don't know. This is literally going to change every single 15 minutes from now until Tuesday. But high of 68, Wednesday 72, Thursday they're predicting some wind coming in, and if we look at that high temperature for the day, we're backing off. Then Friday, Saturday, looks like we have a bit of a cold front coming in. On Friday and Saturday of next week, we need to be paying attention to the low temperatures for those days. When we get down to around 32 degrees, so these 34, 38s, I mean, those can change going 10 days in the future. They can drop really quick. We need to keep an eye on those, because if 32-degree temperatures hit while we're out in the field and we have some crop up out of the ground, we could be susceptible to frost damage, which will kill the plant or take it back. And so we don't want that. So we need to be taking into consideration what's coming 10 days from now, so that way we can be making good decisions today, because the decisions we make today are going to affect us then. So the 10-day forecast is extremely important for us. We're running surplus help today with special help from Ron, our bulldozer guy. Zach's helping, Roman's helping, Cooper, my dad, and me. So there is going to be 6 of us running around the farm today. We need to take a moment of appreciation to listen to that 903 cubic inch Cummins. Ah, the sound of 20 gallons of diesel fuel per hour being burned.
Now, again, they got 6 people working on the farm today at a job that they are already estimating that at the end of the year, they're going to be losing $500,000, and they have no idea whether or not they're going to come out on the other end with anything that they have. Imagine that. Imagine that as a family. Imagine that as a spouse, as a father, as a mother. Imagine that. So, and let's never forget that the farmer is the only person on the planet who sells things for wholesale and buys everything for retail. So understand exactly what they're going through. Oh, and the $20 an hour just to run that tractor, that's only for diesel, or 20 gallons an hour. Let me think. A gallon of diesel fuel is worth, give or take, between $4 or $5. So he's burning 20 gallons an hour. So it's, you know, pretty expensive. And that's just for the fuel. That doesn't include oil. It doesn't include tires. It doesn't include insurance. It doesn't, you know, again, these are the things that these guys, these people, these, what so many in large areas of human collection called cities would call hicks. You know, he's obviously uneducated. What could he possibly know? Well, you know what? What is it that those people don't know in those large populated cities? You can be better educated now and make better decisions.
This is too rough to plant into. So Cooper is running our reel disc right now, and he's running it 2 to 3 inches deep, and he is simply just smoothing out all of the holes that the ripper made, all of the big clods, and we are making a nice environment for the planter to be able to come in and plant smoothly. Everest is a 96-acre farm, so we're gonna have about 900 more acres to do. Cooper can do 25 acres per hour in that piece of equipment, so he's going to be running this for about 40 hours, and this is going to be a pretty expensive 40 hours because every hour that tractor burns about $100 worth of diesel fuel. And by the way, that 40 hours is 100% efficient, actually in the ground, moving, turning dirt. That does not include times for plug-ups, breakdowns, getting out to pick up rocks, traveling down the road, eating, that kind of thing. So we're probably looking at 60 hours. But I guess the good news is when you're stopped for those things, you're not burning as much fuel. So it's not quite as expensive when you're sitting, but you're still paying somebody to be there doing the work and nothing's getting done. Once Cooper gets done reel disking Mount Everest, that will be 100% ready to plant soybeans into. So once he gets done at Everest, he'll hop right across the road to the field right around the main heated shop here, which is the field we call the field around Dad's. And then right next to that, we have the Hanson farm, and then we also have the Bush farm. So those fields will keep Cooper busy today. So that is what he is going to be working on. Today, it is too windy for us to go out and spray. Tomorrow, it is too windy for us to go out and spray. But looking at Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, we have some opportunities to get the sprayers out there. When I'm going in the sprayer, I can do 100 acres per hour. Cooper's doing 25 acres per hour. So for every 4 hours he works, I can do in one in the sprayer. And we have 2 sprayers. So we can do 200 acres per hour with the sprayer. So to get ahead between today and tomorrow, with these winds, we have the high-speed disc on our 340. So we're gonna get Zach set up in this 340 here in a little bit, and then he's gonna go get started either around DC's, Hanson Farm, or Bush Farm. So that way we can be getting ahead of the sprayers. We want to get as much worked and have the seed bed prepared for planting, so that way we can come in with the sprayers, get a bunch done, because we have 2 planters, and once we get both planters going, if we're running them 24/7, we can get 1,000 acres done in 2.5 days. So if we can get as much done as possible with these tillage implements, then we can get more planted. The more we can get planted early, especially when it comes to soybeans, the better. So Zach and Cooper are going to be running tillage. Ron is in his excavator right now. He's going to be leaving early today though, because he's going turkey hunting. Roman's going to be getting the well situation figured out. Dad is being the gopher guy. He's actually going to get lunch right now. And then if Cooper, Zach, hey, we blow hydraulic hose, we need a new one, Dad will go get it. Hey, our rock box is full, Dad will go empty it, go dump it somewhere else. So that way, main goal of the game is to keep Zach and Cooper moving out in the field. So Dad's gonna be primarily doing that. And then there's me. I have the nice cushy job of sitting in the Ranger driving field boundaries. So I have our Ag Leader GPS display set up. I have our GPS globe up on top, and then I have a monitor on the inside. And I am double checking boundaries to make sure that our GPS boundaries are correct. When we come through with our planters and our sprayers, they have the GPS sensors inside of them that when they hit a no plant boundary, the planter will automatically shut off. And so we want to make sure those are right, because we don't want to be planting into areas that we don't want to plant into. And then we also want to make sure that we are planting into areas that we want to plant into. And then our sprayer has the exact same thing, where we will spray in the areas where we want to spray. And once our GPS crosses the line of, hey, don't spray here anymore, everything automatically shuts off. I also double as tech support guy when it comes to the GPS stuff. I probably understand it better than everyone on the farm, so when they have issues, they usually call me, and there's always some sort of issue, so hopefully today we don't have that. But first day out in the field, you usually find something. I just saw Zach pull in here, and I believe I robbed the GPS globe off the top of his tractor, so I'm probably gonna have to find one for him, so that way we can get him set up, because without the globe, he cannot have auto steer. So this is my monitor that I have inside of the cab, and this black line on the screen is my field boundary. So if I zoom all the way out on the field, I can see the entire thing. So everything on the outside of the lines is a no plant, no spray zone, and everything inside of the lines is fair game. So like right here, we have a waterway finger. So when we're planting through it, the planter will shut off while it is inside of the waterway. And then once it gets back into the field, it'll automatically turn on. The sprayer will do the exact same thing. So this field is the field behind my house. It should be pretty good. There might be one spot right down in here. I might redo this boundary, because we had a big wet spot right here that had snakeweed growing in it, and we got it fixed. And so we picked up like an acre more of field of getting rid of that invasive snakeweed plant and getting rid of that wet spot. And so I might have to mess with that in there just a little bit. It might be pretty good, we'll see. So this is a prime example of what I'm looking for. See how that little gray box is right on that black line? That gray box represents me and the Ranger. So the left side of that box is the left side of the Ranger. We are currently sitting right on the borderline. So left side is a no spray, no seed zone. But look at this. We are like 4 feet from where we actually don't want to go. Now this is done intentionally right here, because I don't want to get too close to that. That's my brother's alfalfa field, and it's right on the edge of my yard. So I'm intentionally leaving a buffer strip right here, but I'm looking for gaps like this over in the rest of the field in areas where we're not as concerned with being 4 feet away. Normally I like to leave it like 2, so I normally drive about right there instead of over here. But in this case, being more sensitive and I have to look at it, and this is intentional. But that's what we're looking for. I just found my first problem area in this field. I got 75 acres that was mapped. The back half looked pretty good, but on this front half, my boundary edge is on this side of the Ranger. I'm standing right on the boundary line. that is our divider with the neighbor over there. So we need to shift our line over about 6 feet. So I'm gonna have to remap this 75 acres. So that way we're just moving our planter shut off line from right there over to here. We got this fence out this last year, which is the sole reason why we had to move the line, or we can move the line, because before when we had the fence, this was all big and mounted up, and we didn't want to be planting too close to the fence, so it was pushed further away. But now with the fence gone, we can move it over a little bit. Oh, this is painful to do. That 75 acre part right there, delete. Okay, let's make a new one. It took us about an hour to check everything. We had to check each and every one of these little individual islands. And then I checked a couple sides and areas where I was kind of questioning a little bit, but now we are good. So we got 202 acres done. The more I was thinking about it, there's about 400 acres down around Dad. So we got 200 here. So we are now 60% done with the soybean ground. I just have the North Farm and Zach's left, and then we will be done with all of the ground that is going to be soybeans. So that's the priority stuff. So we will get done with that today, as long as everything keeps going smooth.
Alrighty, everybody, that's going to conclude what it is that I had for you today. Remember, I've cut out a bunch, a heap. This is this particular video. This is a selection. It's an 1.5 hour video, so I'm editing on top of an edit. The kid does a really good job with it. If you want more information, please, he explains how to get to it. I'll leave you a link in the description, and that way you can do that and we can all be on the same page. This is really important stuff. It's important that we all know and appreciate the folks where our food comes from, the folks who are growing the food. So until I talk to you next time, we will see you then.